Hello, hello, hello.
Oh my gosh, here we are. We're back. I'm waving my arms in the air. Do, 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 do. How are you, Brandon? I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
I'm chilly.
You're chilly.
Well, I'm sweaty right now, but overall I'm chilly.
Like chill.
It's so cold here.
Oh, I thought you were like trying to be funny and be like, I'm chill.
No, I'm
but
never.
You're actually cold.
Well, I'm never chill except for when I dissociate, so. Which has apparently been a lot more than regular lately.
Well, we're getting into winter. It's fall, y'all.
There were some days when I walked outside, it was 32 degrees.
It was so damn cold and like frosty the past couple of days, and all of a sudden here it's like 80 degrees today.
Do you want to know what I
actually
did?
think the high is 80. What'd you do?
It was so dumb weather-wise. So oh my God, it's 77 degrees. What the hell?
It's this high of 81.
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Craziness. What'd you do?
So Friday, I was like, oh gosh, I got to ship out all these orders. So they were all like sprays. None of them were like plants. So I'm like, okay, they're perfect to send over the weekend. But there's no UPS stores anywhere where I was going. So I was like, oh, like the box is small enough. I can probably put it in a drop box. And then I go, and there's one right by the post office by my house. What a treat. And so I throw it in there. And then it says, picked up, next pickup Monday at 5 p.m.
Oh, so
and I go, oh my God, it's going to dip down to 30 degrees. I hope I package this so it doesn't freeze and explode in the drop box.
I thought you were going to say out of nowhere that you dropped it in there and that you heard it shatter. You heard it like break into a million pieces.
I mean, I packaged them very well, so that wouldn't have happened. But it could explode if it got too cold.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So.
And I stupidly filled, because I had a little bit extra, so I like filled them all up to the top when I should have left some space for potential freeze. So if you're listening and you're the person who ordered that spray, I don't remember what your name was, let me know and I'll send you a new one.
Nerve-wracking. I literally was like, if I need to send any plant mail, this is the week to do it.
Yeah.
And then then I'll be a little nervous, and then you really got to go like overnight shipping, which I don't always want to do. I'm a little cheap.
Like I would have to say, for me to be tempted with overnight shipping, the plant has to be at least $300. And how often am I buying $300 plants? Very rarely. Mm-hmm. I got my $300 plant fill this last week, and we're done with that.
Yeah, we'll get to the plant stuff, but we're back from Florida. We had our big trip. It was so fun. It
was the trip of a life. I've had 2 trips of a lifetime this year. I feel blessed, but also privileged, and that makes me feel uncomfy.
Yeah, it was like a kind of way better than I expected, and no big disasters. I was shocked. There
really were no big disasters.
Except when I had to pee on the side of the road.
Which wasn't that bad, but
it was
in the moment, it was bad.
It was really traumatic. I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening to me right now. I was about to Google, like, how long can someone hold their pee? This is so bad. For context, I don't just pee on the side of the road out of nowhere. We planned our pees out really well. But we didn't really think about the fact that there was going to be Florida hurricane traffic. People were fleeing Hurricane Ian. At the same time, we were just going home. We weren't like, oh my God, we got to get out of here. Even though it's a good thing we did, because my dad's house kind of got hit.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if we would have been in that house while it was happening? We'd be like, oh my God.
His whole the enclosure that the pool's in like opened up on the one side, and I was like, I don't know, because he's right next to a lake, and I'm like, how did that thing not overflow and like take over the house? I don't understand. And then the little house that they were building right next to it fell down. Little cement wall.
Little cinder block house.
It was so close. I don't know, like mathematically, I don't know how it didn't hit the house.
Like
within inches.
Yeah, 8 inches tops.
Absolutely nuts. But we're going to kind of probably split this up into 2 episodes. So next week you'll hear part 2. But we did a lot of stuff on the way down to Florida. It wasn't just like the Aroid show trip. There were so many other cool things.
Mm-hmm. So this will be the episode about all the things we did up until Florida.
Yeah. So it wasn't really exciting the first day. I mean, we just did some driving. Kind of did a lot of driving on the first day.
Yeah, the first day we got started at 9 a.m. Mm-hmm. I think it's when I got to your house. No, I got there at 9:30. I left at 9 because then I had to get gas and go to the post office. Got to your house at 9:30.
We're not going minute by minute with this, Brandon.
Then we got to your mom's house at 10. Then we were on the road.
Oh, yeah. We just drove down to St. Louis the first day. I feel like some people don't realize how big like the US is, or just like how far from like the top to bottom can be, especially going down to the tippy tip of Florida. Florida itself is like several hours of a drive. I saw a TikTok of like someone who's a travel agent, and she's like has people from like out of the country asking like, hey, so can I go see the Statue of Liberty and Disney World in the same day? And she's like, no, that's not how that's not gonna work. So
yeah, for our international listeners, like the US is cool in very small places. The rest of it is fields of produce.
It was kind of the drive was really exactly the same until we got into like, Appalachia.
The Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, so we went through like Chattanooga was actually really pretty.
Yeah, I wish that one area that we went through on the way back would have been daylight, because that would have been, because again, that's the part that my parents always talk about. We got to see a little bit of it on the back roads coming down, but I miss it every single time.
So we went down to St. Louis. We stayed at a pretty cool hotel.
Yeah, the Angard Arts Hotel.
I think it's Angad.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an R.
You're right.
Yeah.
I always put an R.
That Arts Hotel. I don't really know much about St. Louis. I've just like passed through. But we were like right there by campus.
Yeah, we were at LSU or no, SLU.
SLU, I think.
Yeah.
Right? St. Louis University. People were in class. It was
Nightmare.
weird, like driving around, and we were like, "Oh my god, I would hate to go to class right now."
It makes you feel so old.
But the Arts Hotel is really cool, and it was kind of fancy.
Yeah, it was. I would say it was the actual bougiest hotel we were in. We were in some nice hotels, but that one I think was like truly bougie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tried to plan these. I was gonna book the hotels, and I was like, "Oh my god, these are expensive," and I kind of want to wait to book them, because I noticed that if I booked like sooner, or if I like changed the dates to like closer to when I was booking, it was like cheaper. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna wait. And then we booked them all, and I don't know, we got some pretty good deals.
Yeah, we got some really good deals.
But this hotel is themed like in colors, so you pick like a blue room, a red room, a yellow, and I think green.
Yeah. So are those the primary colors?
Well, primary colors doesn't include green. It's just
Oh, you're right.
Blue.
There is a word for those three in green, but I don't know what that word is.
But yeah, we stayed in the green room, of course, because plants. And it was actually kind of weird how everything was green. But also there could have been more.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think they should have really focused more on their lighting. They had like 2 lights, and they barely lit up anything. So it was like mostly black, a little bit of green.
Well, and also I was like, there's no big mirror, like, but there was a lot of like just green wall everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of cool. I think you guys can still go check our story highlights on the podcast. I think I'll probably do one on mine, because I did a lot of stories. So go check the story highlights. And you can just like watch it in real time.
Yeah, it'll be like you're on the trip with us, for those of you who weren't watching live in the moment.
I was actually shocked at the amount of people who were like, I really liked watching your guys' trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, it just looked really fun. It was like really cool to follow along. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I don't follow any travel people, because I'm just like, I want to do that. Fuck you. Though we tried to gather some intel, because I know a lot of people are interested in going to the Aroid show next year. So we will talk about a lot of that stuff. But after leaving St. Louis, where was our next stop, Brandon?
Nashville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, we didn't talk. We woke up the next morning in St. Louis, and we did some stuff. We forgot about that.
We did stuff. Oh my god, we did a bunch of stuff. Yes. We tried to do fun stuff everywhere. But our first attempt was kind of a flop, because we went to Maypop, and what were they doing? Like
they were getting new asphalt.
Yeah, they were getting new asphalt in the parking lot. So
in the parking lot went right, like where the asphalt, they were literally laying it within inches of the door.
Yeah, so you could not go in. And me and Brandon are uncomfortable like talking about who we are, so we didn't like say like, hey, can we go in? But they did message us after, and they're like, oh, you should have let us know. We would have let you in. And we're like, oh, damn it. So we're trying to take advantage of.
We're trying to harness our power for good.
I don't know. Because I keep thinking like, oh my god, we're nobody. But then there's people who are like the actual shops that we go to, because we went to a lot of small businesses, will message us on Instagram, be like, thank you for stopping by, or like, sorry we missed you or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay. We just like popped in, didn't say anything, tried to be quiet, and left.
Like, don't recognize us.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I was like, don't ask us. I also forgot my business card, so if anyone was like, oh my god, who are you? I'd be like, yeah.
I had one of yours, and I gave it to David.
Yeah, David's like, can I have it? And I'm like, yeah, take it. I actually now have some in my wallet so that they're just always on me, trying to be more business lady, boss babe. But we did a pretty exciting thing after that, and that was Missouri Botanical Gardens.
It was so cool.
Very beautiful, but oh my God, the hottest day ever. Everywhere we went, you guys, on the way down, it was their hottest day ever.
Literally. It was insane.
Like the next day, it was dropping like 20 to 30 degrees.
Like we would travel 5 hours, and then it would, like the weather would travel 5 hours with us.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Like obviously we knew it was going to get hotter like the further south we went, but we were still in the Midwest, and they're like, yeah, St. Louis is really hot.
And then literally everywhere we went the next day was supposed to be 55.
Yeah, they're like, sorry you're here on the hottest day of the week.
It's going to be cut in half, 97 to 55.
But yeah, Missouri Botanical Garden was really, really cool.
I was shocked at how modern it is. It's incredibly modern.
Yeah,
and
they were updating a lot of it. Because, some of these conservatories and places, they've been around for so long, and they're just really old.
The Milwaukee one is so old, it's like falling apart, and they like cannot raise enough money to redo it. And so they just keep like plastering the ceiling cracks. Like, don't fall down, dome. And like every 5 years, they're like, what's going to happen to the dome? It's set to close. And then they like raise enough money just to patch it up, but not to rebuild it.
Oh. Shout out to Milwaukee Domes. I want to see it before it falls apart.
Like when I lived there, probably in 2017, it like was this close to permanently closing.
Sad. Oh, well, good thing it's stayed open so that you could go when your like plant world started. Missouri Botanical Garden was really cool though. We didn't, for most of these places that we went, we didn't have time to see the entire thing because we were trying to pack in a lot, but we went to like the area that would be the most interesting for us, which was their is it called the Climatron room?
Yeah.
Yeah, people were messaging me about that and like, oh my God, that is my favorite thing. Or like, I used to work there. My uncle volunteers there, whatever. Like people are obsessed with it. And it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. But is that the place where there were like animals running rampant?
Mm-hmm. That was Georgia.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. There were no animals to my knowledge at this.
Like the poisonous bugs and shit?
Yeah, no, that was
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, every place was a little bit different, but I was like a little shocked at some of the I don't know, they're just like letting the wildlife in there just like go, and they're like, yeah, they're poisonous, they might kill you.
Watch out for the alligator snapping turtle.
Yeah, I was like, this is a little nerve-wracking. But yeah, Missouri Botanical Garden, and they also had these giant, what do you call those things? The lily pad things?
They're the giant lily pads in the Amazon. I cannot remember what they're called, but
massive, very cool.
Huge, like 7 feet across, some of them.
They also had like a random monstera albo just like sitting outside.
Yeah. Like, don't snip me.
Yeah. It was just like sitting in this like area where people gather. It was like right next to tables where someone could like lean over and like take a little clipping, and it's like, it kind of looked like it had been hacked, but could have been by the conservatory. I don't know. But yeah, they had a lot of cool plants in there. Very, very nice. Love Missouri Botanical Garden. After that, where did we go? I'm looking on my little list. Rolling Ridge Nursery. Oh, that was the one where I got the first plant. Mm-hmm. First plant of the trip. I got a peperomia green bubbles. I actually had been looking for that for a little bit. There's a local lady named Sally. Some of you know who Sally is. Sally loves her peperomias and had posted like an ISO, like I'm looking for this thing. And immediately I had screenshotted it and it went on my wish list. I'd never even seen one for sale, let alone in person. So when I saw it, even though it was like $30-some, it was like almost $40.
I mean, I had never heard of it, so
I was like, oh my God, I want to get it. And it actually does bring me a lot of joy, and it's growing and it's so cute.
Oh.
So yeah, first little plant purchase. And then we went to Garden Heights Nursery. I feel like I'm not remembering that one.
That one, it was when you first walked in, there were tons of pots, and then we went in the back, and then the greenhouse was kind of open, so it was like really hot.
You went pee there,
yes,
right?
They had a bathroom, and I was like,
they had a lot of cute pots there. I actually really like their like small pot selection. I feel like a lot of places they just start at 4-inch pots, but they sell tiny little plants. So it's like, I need tiny pots. Mm-hmm. I do remember taking pictures of those there. And then we went to Flowers and Weeds, which did not impress us. Do you remember that? We were walking around and there was like shit everywhere.
It was super cute, and I think it really did have the potential.
Mm-hmm. There was some like big plants like there where I was like, oh wow, that ficus is really big, or wow, that jungle boogie is really big. But there were, first of all, also a lot of employees. I feel like everywhere we went, there was like a lot of employees.
Mm-hmm. They just didn't have they had a very common selection, like things you can kind of find everywhere.
I did like their, on their social media, I think they show a lot of like the flower part.
The flower part was cool.
Like, I feel like I was expecting more than what there was.
Yeah, it was just kind of a little corner.
Mm-hmm. It was cute. but there was like, do you remember there was like stacks and like trays of stuff, and I was like, what is that doing there? I mean, I'm not the cleanest person. I'm very messy, but it was like I could have definitely tripped over it if I was like in dumb bitch mode at the time. But it was fine. It was cute. And then that's where there was a little cat sanctuary across the street.
Yeah, 9 Lives.
So cute. Go hit up 9 Lives in St. Louis.
Yeah, if you want a cat.
There's a bunch of cats. They look really happy there.
Although they're very pampered, it looks like. So
so you got to give them a good life. But they're by appointment only. But they have the cat, like they're free roam, which I like. I hate when they have them like just cats in the cages. It makes me sad. But these cats were in the window, but they were in these like cute little beds and chairs and whatever. They all had their own little bed, and they didn't give a fuck about us. They were all just passed out. They could have been fake.
Well, I don't think they were fake.
Okay, but I just saw on TikTok some girl had like her cats taxidermied and they looked really good. I was like, oh my God. Because you know how some of the like people get their cats and they just kind of look weird, but she got them like in sleeping position and they look so precious. I'm like, oh my God, that's actually kind of tempting. Anyways.
Gonna kill my cat, just get it taxidermied.
Oh my God. You are morbid. So we drove from St. Louis to Nashville. That was about like 5-hour drive. It wasn't too bad. We drove straight down there though because we wanted to go to a shop of things.
Mm-hmm. We literally were like speed demoning, and then we were like, "Shit, we only have like a half an hour, but is the time zone gonna change?"
Yeah, we were really confused because we were like, "Oh shit, there's like a time zone change at some point in this trip," which we did not even realize. I think I was on the phone with Izzy, and she's like, "Did the time change yet?" And I was like, "What?" So I was like, "Okay, I need to Google like where's the line because I know that Florida is an hour ahead." But where does that happen? Mm-hmm. So it was right around like between Nashville and Chattanooga, was it?
It was like right before you hit Chattanooga, I think.
So yeah, we went to a shop of things. So many cute things.
Adorable.
I love it. So it's not planty. They do have some planty stuff there from Plant Savvy, who we did an episode with. So listen for that. But cute stuff. You can actually shop them online. So look them up, a shop of things.
They are also on Fair, as I found out last night.
Oh my God. Fun. I love it. They had so many cute things. I spent so much money there. I could have spent way more.
Oh yeah.
But I got these disco ball earrings and I'm obsessed with them. But then we had some real fun. Our first crazy night at Greenhouse Bar, Nashville.
Oh yeah. So we get to our hotel at about 7, probably. Yeah. That's about when it got dark. And we were like, okay, we got to go to this Greenhouse Bar. And it's kind of like not right in Nashville. It's like just outside of Nashville. So we like go there. We're in this like little neighborhood. We see a mall and we're like, where are we? And
it was a weird area.
Then we like pull into like weird businesses, you know? Like,
yeah, I was like, this doesn't look like there's going to be a bar here or any type
like
of
an accountant place, and then a custom windows and blinds, and like just like, you know, those kind of office building, warehouse building areas. And then there's just a bar.
That is quite literally a greenhouse dome.
Uh-huh. It's a hoop house.
And it was fucking packed.
Packed. The girlies were out in full force.
It was a Tuesday night. It was a Tuesday night. Very planty. Not as planty as I thought it was going to be. But like Brandon was like, oh, this isn't like planty for plant people. This is planty for like non-plant people.
Yeah.
For the girlies and the gays.
And
that
the
can't
days.
keep the days that can't keep a plant alive.
It's for you to go in the daytime and get a really cute Instagram picture.
Yeah, daytime cute, nighttime packed, busy. But oh my God, try the bacon popcorn.
Oh my God, it was so good.
So we were inside and it was like packed, but eventually we went out back and they had swings, little swings.
The cutest back patio I think I've ever been on.
It was really cute,
Adorable.
really cozy. That's my kind of bar, is it not?
Yeah.
That's my kind of bar.
I liked how the back was like an escape from the people.
Yeah, it was really quiet out
like
there.
Inside, it was so loud. And like, I can't hear in crowded places like that. Like, if I'm in a crowded place like that, it has to have loud music so that I don't need to talk to people. But like that's like a chatting place. But because it's so cramped, you can't hear anything because everyone is chatting at the top of their lungs.
Yeah. Pretty good drinks, right?
Mm-hmm. They were very good, but
and they were pretty strong, were they not? Because I was a little messed up.
Yeah, they were incredibly strong. Where usually when you buy those $17 drinks, they're like, here's your half shot of alcohol, enjoy. The rest is just artisanal, locally sourced ingredients that you are paying a leg and an arm for. Where this was like, here's your booze and some locally sourced artisanal ingredients. Enjoy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We went to McDonald's after, though, and we discovered a fry trough.
Yeah, the South has fry troughs.
People are like, what are you talking about?
So,
little paper basket.
like up here, the largest size you can get, it's a large.
Yeah, it's just a normal large
They don't
fry.
even have the super size fry anymore. But
They also don't even fill it up all the way. It is such a wimpy amount.
Were you on McDonald's fry pouring TikTok?
No.
They have those scoops that they use. There's a special way you jiggle it to get the most air, the least amount of fries. And they like watch the employees and make sure they do it that way so it's not full.
Rude.
And so like the medium to large fry, there's only like 5 more fries.
Yeah, so I'm just getting a medium now. Who cares? But they literally had this like paper basket just full of fries. And I'm like, I've never seen this in my life.
And it
like,
was,
I mean, from other places.
And it was like 30 cents more than a large fry. And it was about 3 large fries.
Yeah, it was a lot. We were like, oh shit. And then we fell asleep with just like a shit ton of McDonald's on the.
Just covered at McDonald's.
So that was a pretty fun night. But then we had to get up and we went to Gardens of Babylon. Very hyped up. But Brandon, what was the vibe?
It was connected to the farmer's market. I was very confused because I thought we were going to a botanical garden.
Oh, yeah. When I said Gardens of Babylon, Brandon's like, where are we? And I'm like, we're going to a plant shop. And he's like, what?
I'm like, oh, a garden center. I thought we were like going to like a botanical gardens called the Gardens of Babylon. So I was very confused. But we pull up and it's definitely, I'm sure I don't do landscaping, but I'm sure they have gorgeous landscaping stuff, like just tons of it. And it looked really nice.
Heavy on the big shrubs and stuff.
And then they had a couple hoop houses with plants in them, and it was actually pretty cool. It was definitely, again,
I feel like it was overhyped, but I guess for the area, that's what they got. It's good.
Yeah, I would say it was like decent selection. Like it wasn't like what we're used to here.
I feel like people listening to this are going to be like, you guys are ripping this apart. These are my favorite plant shops. Fuck you. Oh. But just for reference, Minneapolis has a very hop and plant community.
If you want to come to Minneapolis,
you will be
call us up. Let's go plant shopping.
Yeah, you will. And be we will show you plant shops for days. You cannot do it all in one day. There's so many shops,
literally,
and for some of them we have multiple locations for them too. It's like. It's nuts, okay?
And they're all vastly different with all great selection.
Mm-hmm. And like people always say the prices are really good up here too, which I agree. For like being all the way up here, you would not expect the prices to be so good. So anyway, so that's why we're like, oh my God, Gardens of Babylon? I don't know. And like the certain plant shops that people told us to go to, we weren't like super wowed, but at the same time, like the places that we recommend people to go to are like the best of the best because we can only like pick 1 or 2 plant shops to recommend out of all of these that are so great.
Yeah. We just have a very high standard up here in Minneapolis.
But we still love it. We don't go and turn our noses up, and I like to like try and buy something when I can too. Got a little keychain there. Really cute. Where did I put that? I don't know. I lose things really easily. I'm still I'm not really unpacking, but like, all the purses that I brought with me, I still need to like empty those of things. Yeah. But my suitcase is empty. Anywho, Gardens of Babylon, and then we met up with Savannah at East Nashville Greenhouse, which was so cute.
It was adorable.
So precious. I'm really glad that she set that up for us. Shout out Savannah. And I'm also proud of me for asking.
Yeah.
I was like, can we record there?
You can ask for what you want, and usually you get it. It's
kind of crazy. I hate asking for stuff, but yeah.
We should unpack that in therapy.
Yeah.
Whitney.
But there, I don't know when it was, but at some point I started stewing. Well, I'll we'll get to it at some point. But I did want to say that there was a really cute swing in the backyard at East Nashville Greenhouse that I just keep thinking about because I really want one. Like, I think you should get one out there.
That would be cute.
That little swing, like it was just so relaxing.
That actually would be nice. I should look at the branches and see if that's something that's doable.
I think so because those things don't look very expensive either. But yeah, little greenhouse in this family's backyard. Beautiful plants. You can tell it's well thought out. They also released bugs, I think, right after we left. I don't know if you follow their Instagram, but they were talking about bugs and stuff. So really cool. They're like throwing nematodes everywhere. All the fun stuff that we know all about, right? Mm-hmm. But anyways, what I was going to say is I started stewing. I don't know if it was that day or the day before, but I was like.
It was the day before.
I was like, I really want to message Dominic Gravine. Could be Gravine now that I think about it. I don't know. at Red Leaf Exotics and see if we can come over. Because I think at some point we were joking like, oh my God, wouldn't it be funny if we like drove by?
Because I was
just
like,
to be weird.
It was on the way into Nashville. I'm like, oh yeah, did you know that we're like going to be driving like 20 minutes past Red Leaf Exotics?
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, we should message him. And you were like, what? I don't know what came over me. I still don't know what came over me.
You were possessed by something.
Something. I wasn't even thinking about what was there.
You were possessed by a spirit.
But I literally didn't even, because Brandon, remember when we were like putting two and two together of like all the plants we were going to see there? Because I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, I just want to go there just to see what it would be like and what would happen. Oh my, I don't think I have ever been that anxious.
Well, like, we gotta pump the brakes. We still gotta give Savannah her moment to shine.
What just happened? Did you hear that? Why is the microphone cutting in and out? I don't know. I keep hearing it cutting in and out. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's your little headies.
Savannah has her whole episode, so y'all gotta listen to that.
Yeah, it was super. Well, let's talk about interviewing her.
I guess because we don't talk about that in the thing.
Yeah.
It was a sweaty little greenhouse, but
at that moment was the moment that I've sweat more than I ever have in my entire life, not knowing that just a few days later, that would be a false statement.
It was a sweaty trip, but Savannah's a badass.
She is so nice, so like professional and also casual at the same time.
Like, I don't know. She seems like a normal girl, and she's doing it all. I'm like, how are you Superwoman?
She's doing it all.
Like, amazing. And she even, like, I think she posted on her Instagram story a couple of days ago of like, oh my God, I hate going into Home Depot and like the men talking to me and whatever. And I'm like, but you do this like all the time. How do you do it?
Literally, I've never got wood cut at Home Depot because I'm too afraid to talk to a straight man.
Literally, when she does these big plant installations too at like, I don't know, sometimes restaurants, shops, whatever, she like has to have a truck come and like dump dirt there. And I'm like, how do you even set that up?
Literally.
I don't even know. Like,
same.
And she has to like call and like act like she knows what she's doing. And she knows what she's doing. I'm
literally.
like, damn.
Like, going back to the wood, I would rather buy 5 different saws and learn how to use them than ask someone to cut wood for me. Again, back to therapy. We should be talking about this.
Yeah, she is so cool, so smart too, and yeah, I just also like that she like loves what she's doing. You know, she's not one of those
passion.
People. Yeah, it's the passion.
It was just oozing out of her like this. Well, she wasn't sweating. We were. She's like, oh, I'm so sweaty. She's like,
she's
2
glowing.
drops.
She's glowing. She also like her cute little like Kim Possible plant girl outfit. Oh my gosh, I'm like, I just want to be Savannah.
Literally.
But yeah, so listen to that. Amazingness. I think we recorded part of it in video. Yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do with that.
We could do like little in social media snippets with it.
Yeah, I'm like might have to pull it up on the computer, and I'm like, I want to pick some clips out or whatever. Anyways, so then I don't know. I think before we were on our way there, I was like, I'm gonna email Dominic because I had messaged him on Instagram the day before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was that afternoon.
Like in the moment.
I was like, okay, I'm going to message him on Instagram. And he still hadn't opened it up yet. And I was like, oh, I just feel like, I'm like, I know he's a business owner. He's been a business owner for a while. And I was like, I need to email him. Brandon was giving like no input. He's like, I don't care. Whatever, do whatever you want. And I was like, I'm going to email him. I don't email anybody. I don't like checking my own email. I'm not an emailer. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to email him. And then we're standing there with Savannah and we kind of like tell her about it. And like, we might go to Red Leaf Exotics and like kind of tell her about him and everything. And then I was like, I'm just gonna check my email. And then we're all standing there and I was like, oh, he told us to come over and also gave me his personal phone number. He was like, yeah, stop by. Here's my number. And I was like, okay. And it was gonna be that day. He's like, yeah, see you later. See you in a couple hours. Oh my God. So then we get in the car and I feel like part of it is just silent. Like we are so anxious.
We're like, we need to go eat. We need to like take some time to just collect ourselves.
Brandon's like, do I need to get drunk? Like, what is going on here? And oh my God, as we get off the main road.
It got real once we got off the highway.
We get onto this dirt road. There's like Trump signs. It was actually kind of packed for like...
There were a lot of people living down that road.
Yeah, it was packed for what I think would just be people living in the middle of nowhere. But like, if you think about it, it's like not that far away from like Nashville. Like,
yeah,
you could still find neighborhoods like that, like outside of Minneapolis, whatever. I mean, where I'm from, it's pretty busy out there. But anywho, you almost got like ran off the road too.
Oh yeah, no, we're like it's a twisty, windy road. I'm driving, and like also we had no reception. Our phones were like, whoop, we have no reception at all.
Oh yeah, Izzy's like, I think I need like money, and I'm like, I have no service. Like I could barely even message her. And there was like a cop at some point.
Oh yeah, that's what it was, and it was curvy, and it got to this point where this cop, there was like a T in the road. And the cop was talking to a man in a 4-wheeler, and he was parked like at the top of the T on the left, and then the turn of the T was on the right, and the 4-wheeler was there. So I had like just a tiny little space, and it kind of curved to the right, but then it immediately curved to the left. So I had to like dodge the police, and then I was like, shit, it's curving the other way. Like quick turn back. We almost flew off the road in front of a sheriff in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and then we kind of went to the wrong house at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And
Google
then
Maps was not being helpful.
Nope, it sent us to the wrong house.
Yeah, I'm like, can you imagine if we get lost out here? What do we do? Yeah, and then we're like, he has a kind of a long driveway, so we're like, okay,
With like
I think this is it.
Those tree line that is like really beautiful, but also really creepy. You know, like the horror movies where they're like going down the driveway of the old creepy house, and it's like all the trees.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we're like, boom, there's carnivorous plants, and we're like, oh, we're here.
I'm like, there's a bog.
Yep. And then there's Dominic, and I think I was like, Brighton, what if he hugs us?
You did.
I'm like, wouldn't it be weird?
I said, yes, I guarantee you we will be touching him.
And first thing, hi, gives us a hug, and I was like, ah.
And Nicole's not a touchy person.
I'm not. No, I don't touch anybody. And I was like, okay. I don't know what it was, but I just became a different human while I was there.
You stepped into the role.
I was like, I feel like I tried to be a fake bitch because I'm always clowning on this man on our podcast. Clowning. Absolutely clowning. I talk about him all the time. It's just funny to me. He's funny to me. And yeah, I acted my little heart out. I mean, I was still being like genuine. When I saw cool plants and asked questions, I probably did want to know about it, but I normally wouldn't ask it in that way. I mean, I don't know.
You were just the epitome of enthusiasm, let's say.
And also it was like, there were all these things that Brandon and I were like, I wonder how they don't get hate crimed out here, and just like random things. I just asked him every single question.
Nicole said, filter who? Not me.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just going to say everything. I basically brought up everything except for like the Reddit thread about him. He even started talking about stealing stuff, essentially. When he was talking about those frogs that he accidentally like almost smuggled in or something. I don't know. But we did learn that like Dominic loves talking about himself. He's a big name dropper. He loves talking about like the people who buy from him and the people he buys from and all this stuff.
It was very interesting. I felt like I was getting fed secrets that I wasn't supposed to know.
Mm-hmm. And then we also met Brian. If you guys don't know, Red Leaf Ranch on TikTok is his little boy toy. They live together out there in a little middle of nowhere, and he came out, and I don't know why I was theorizing that he was going to kill us while we were out there, and I don't know why, but I mean, not that they seem threatening. Like you wouldn't, if you just didn't know these guys, you'd be like, oh, they wouldn't hurt a fly. But once we were even in terms of like 2 on his side, 2 on our side, I was like, oh, is he about to like come up behind me and like choke me to death? Because I will say, y'all, the amount of skulls that we saw in those greenhouses.
Literally, Nicole was like she pets a skull with one finger, goes, Dominic, you're really into dead things, aren't you?
I did say that. I said, Dominic, you really love dead things, huh? And he's like, yeah, I love them. He's very theatrical.
It was overall a delightful experience. An unexpectedly delightful experience.
Okay, but can we talk about the spider for a second?
Oh, what are those called? Nicole had never seen one of these spiders. They're the big yellow and black ones. They're huge. They're way bigger down there than they are in Wisconsin. But
yeah, he has like a couple bogs. And was there just like 2 big ones, or was it? I think there was actually at least 3, maybe even 4 separate ones. I don't know. But this big spider just like hanging out on its little web in the middle of this bog, and I was like, oh, that is massive. And they're like, yeah, we've got a couple of those around here. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to. I was like, I don't know if I want to keep going. That was before we even went into the greenhouses.
Well, I don't think you noticed it, but as we were going from the first greenhouse to the second greenhouse, the biggest wasp I've ever seen in my entire life.
I did see some things flying around, and I was like, I'm just not going to look up.
It was like this big. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going to say anything to Nicole. Because you did not mention that. A lot of cool stuff. What was kind of funny, though, is I was like, Dominic, where are your pings? And that's what I said I was going to say. I was going to be like, where are the pings? He literally just like ripped a couple out of the pots for me, and he was like, here you go. I was like, you know damn well. Give me the pings.
They were the redheaded stepchilds of the greenhouse, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were like, there was like one of them had its like little setup, you know. It's the one I'm holding in the picture. I was like, should we take a selfie? And he's like, yeah, here you go, and like gave us plants to hold. But it was kind of funny because like he does follow us on TikTok, so he was like, yeah, I saw you, like I think I mentioned my state fair plants maybe, and he was like, oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are pop up on my feed all the time. Be lurking.
He be lurking. Yeah, he's like, I know you love your pings, and I'm like, what? So goofy. We saw a lot of like big aeroids. I mean, we saw the big Spiritus Sancti. We saw all the variegated Spiritus Sanctis.
It was insanity.
It was kind of insanity. Lots of different types of variegation too. And he was like, you can touch them. And I was like, I don't know if I want to. It's actually like kind of insane how many he had.
There were so many, and they were all so different. They were gorgeous.
Even
I'm not
just,
going to
like,
lie.
The amount of Spiritus Sanctis, like normal Spiritus Sanctis, they were overflowing on these trays. Insane.
And then like the size of some of those aeroids, incredible. Like not even the botanical gardens had some of them, like, you know, those were bigger than ones at the botanical gardens.
Yeah, he just has this like bench of like all aeroids, and I didn't even notice the Spiritus at first. That was just like lurking out in the middle. And I was like, is this Big Mama the one who birthed all the children? Mm-hmm.
Inbred the children.
Mm-hmm. Lots of plants. But then at the end, because like Brandon hadn't really asked for any plants.
Because this whole time he's like, just whatever you want, take it. Let me know. You can have it. You can have it. And like Nicole's better at asking. Well, Nicole won't ask for what she wants unprovoked, but if told she can ask, she will ask.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm still like,
Yeah. Or when people are like, do you want this plant? I'll be like, yep, I'll take one. I used to not be like that. I used to be like, are you sure? I kind of play it like that now because like I don't want to seem like super greedy. Like, yeah, I'll take it. But it's like if someone's offering you something, just take it.
Yeah,
just take it. You know, do it. But yeah, at the very end, kind of right before we leave, he's like, well, I don't even know what he said. He said something like, y'all have to have the real thing. So,
well, no, because he was like, oh, Brandon, like, what do you want? You don't have anything. And I was like, oh, like, because I think. Because I would have gladly taken a pitcher plant, but I think we kind of downplayed our pitcher plant knowledge to try to like act dumb. So he didn't. I don't know what the point was, but there was a point in the moment. It felt like it was.
Well, and I also was emphasizing like whatever you give it to us, we're going to be driving down to Florida and then all the way back up to Minnesota. So they've got to be hardy plants.
Yeah. And
he was talking so much about how easy the Spiritus Sancti are and how hardy they are. And just out of nowhere has two of them in his hands and is like, here you go.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking to Brian. We were distracted.
Yeah.
He just popped up between us and was like, whoop.
I still, like, I'm kind of speechless. I was like, what? And I, like, looked at you and I was like.
Here we are, both the little baby Spiritus Sancti in our hand.
I was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah. Which at the same time, I'm like, I was also like, if I would have been genuine, I would have just been like, oh my God, sweet. I mean, yeah, you have so fucking many. Yeah, we'll take these. He could give them away. We
could have taken the two of the variegated babies and it wouldn't have affected anything.
Yeah. We did post a pretty good photo dump of that too. I think on my page, I have some good pics of that. Just a lot of, and those picture plants photographed so well.
Oh
too.
my God,
I was
incredibly
like, these are
well.
So pretty.
And I'm catching up. I will be posting more about I did post today finally.
I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, Brandon posted. Look at that. I just know you've been so busy too, especially with like Monstera Plant Co stuff. I was like shocked. I was like, oh my God, look at that.
I just had a moment of inspiration. It was quick and effortless.
Right? That's when I like to do my posts. I'm like, I don't really think about it too much. I'm like, oh, now's a good time. I'll just post something.
Because I think I ponder it over for too long and then it stresses me out.
Yeah, it's like just post some pics that you like, especially since we have so many pictures now, so many planty pics. It was a shock, and we drove out of there, and we were just, I don't know, speechless and giggling and like just
like it was one of those like out of body fever dream experiences.
Well, because I told Brandon, I was like, I quite literally, it sounds exactly like a dream that I would have, where I'd be like, hey, I had a dream where like we emailed Dominic and he just like gave us his phone number and was like, come over, and we like met Brian and saw all these plants, and then he gave us Spiritus Sancti. Like that sounds like fake, but that happened. How? Oh. Yeah. But yeah, beforehand, I still cannot tell you guys how nervous I was.
I will say I did, when we left Zaxby's, poured myself a glass of wine to drink as we pulled into the dirt road.
I did not know that. You actually were drinking.
Had I not had that glass of wine, I probably wouldn't have said a single word.
Yeah. I was like, I was carrying the conversation a little bit.
I was struggling.
Brandon was the bait, though. Brandon showed up in his little crop top.
Little short shorts.
Little dance. Yeah. It was, oh my God. But can we talk about his Tridescantia? I don't know.
On the floor.
Yeah. So we like pointed that out. And, you know, we say Tridescantia, and I know that there's like a lot of.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say it because like I know some people are like, oh my God, my friend doesn't care what I call it. But, you know, wandering, whatever that people say. And he said it just like.
No, he was like, oh, the blappity blop.
So it's almost like.
like very emphasized.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it like as if it was your username. So like, let's pretend it was Brandon Botanical. He said it like Brandon Botanical. He said it so confidently. And I was like, oh yeah, I love Tridescantia. I was like, I'm not going to argue with this man because he scares me. And also when I was like, how do you not get hate crimed? He was like, oh my God, our Trumpy neighbors are so nice. What?
It was an experience.
It was a whole thing. So yeah, we didn't give him any money, y'all, just so you know. There was no exchange happening. But he also, he texted me after and was like, send me the pictures you took or something, and then posted us on his Instagram promptly right after. Oh my God. But we didn't even mention like what he texted us before we went in. Remember, he was like, you ready?
Like basically like we were like, okay, we'll be there at like 3:30. He's like, okay, awesome.
Didn't he say like awesomeness?
Yeah. And then like waited like 20 minutes and then said, you ready?
You ready? Question mark.
Ready for what?
I was like, ready for what? I'm like, ready to die? Oh my gosh.
But also me and Nicole are like worst case scenario dramatic.
Oh yeah.
in our
always,
brains.
Yeah. That's how yeah.
If you go into a thing, every situation you go into expecting you're going to get killed, everything turns out great.
Yeah, it's positive. And it went better than I could have expected because I wasn't even like, what if he gave us Spiritus Sanctis? I don't even think I came up with that as an option.
No.
I don't know. It was just goofiness. Oh my gosh. But we got to get through the rest of this trip, or rest of the trip down. So that wasn't even planned, y'all. That wasn't on the itinerary. It was just like out of nowhere, let's go to Dominic's.
Yeah. And we had a pretty, I wouldn't say structured itinerary, but we had a very solid itinerary.
Yeah, it was packed. So went down to then Atlanta.
Oh, and then this is all on the same day. We had a wild day. Atlanta. This is the same day we got to Atlanta. The day just was a day of firsts.
Yeah, because we showed up to our Atlanta hotel, which was like this cool Art Deco, fun, dark, sexy. Blah.
That was, I think, the nicest hotel we were at, to be honest.
I would definitely
Hotel Claremont. I will never stay anywhere else in Atlanta.
Yeah, I was
from a one night stay. Usually, I'm at like a hotel, like even super nice ones. I'm like, oh, whatever, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Obsessed.
Yeah, beautiful.
And we barely even scratched the surface of their amenities.
Yeah, we like the room, so cute, amazing details, so different. You know,
we were greeted with a glass of champagne upon arrival.
She was like, "Do you want a glass of champagne or do you want some beer?" And I was like, "What?" and it's the type of like place too where like people just go there for dinner, you know, or just go to the bar, and you pull up and they open up your back door. They're like, okay, like they have like guys out there and they're wearing like the tropical,
like Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, Hawaiian shirts, like the classic. It's giving Miami.
Yeah,
you know. And they're like, open up the car. Like it's fancy.
Yeah, it's like
casual.
Miami Vice.
It's like it's not like rich fancy. It's like cool fancy.
Yeah,
you know, like you don't need a shit ton of money to go.
And like
there.
the front desk girl was like very
So nice.
trendy and like what?
Queer.
Yeah,
I loved it. We didn't even really see super well because we got there, it was dark. But then the next morning we saw like the couches had like Monstera print all over them.
It was so cute.
Really, really cute. They had like security walking around too, like club bouncers. Like it was a nice place, and they had probably the nicest cart.
Yeah.
Brandon did not pack light, y'all. Go look at the pictures, go look at the videos, whatever. Brandon,
there are a lot of pictures of us in our luggage.
Well, because when I told Sam how much was mine, and she's like, "Wait, so the rest is Brandon's?"
You had one suitcase.
I had one suitcase and then my little bag,
and then a box of snacks, which you didn't originally pack.
I did not bring. Yeah, my mom gave us those. I just had my suitcase and my one bag that was going to be full of snacks and just like my front of the car stuff because it was going to be in the trunk. I mean, Brett, I know you had to bring the podcast stuff, but that was in one thing.
Two things, technically.
I guess. But you had other things in that bag, too. Like, Brandon had...
I had the biggest suitcase known to man.
But yeah, biggest suitcase ever. So goddamn heavy. I mean, mine was heavy,
to the
but
brim.
like, how? I don't understand.
My camera bag, the ring lights,
and
the cooler.
And the thing is, y'all, when Brandon, and I haven't really so Brandon and Sam as BFFs have like little slumbies and they like know each other well. I have not like done a sleepover with Brandon. I don't really know what he's like. I haven't gone somewhere with him like that. He moves in. We are at all of these hotels. Besides one of them, we were at all of these places for one night only. We were checking in, going to bed, and getting up and just grabbing our stuff right away in the morning. And Brandon just all of his shit unpacked everywhere. He would have been in the drawers if we had been there any longer. He's like, yeah, I normally do that. And I'm like, okay, it's scary. I was so scared he was going to lose something because of how just like we're ADHD. We're forgetful. We haven't taken our meds, whatever. Like I was convinced Brandon was going to be leaving at least something somewhere, and it didn't happen. I just how?
Well, I mean, it could have, and I just will never remember that item again.
But as far as you know, you've got everything, and that's amazing. But yeah, so. The lady was like, they had this at Hotel Claremont. They had this cute little printout of like the neighborhood, and here's cute things you can go do and walk around at. And she's like, "Do you guys want to stay?" Would she say on the grounds?
We were like, "Oh, like what is there to do around here?" Mm-hmm. And she's like,
"Oh, do you want to stay on the property?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean?" I mean, like I know that like some hotels have like little bars and whatever, and like they have the rooftop. But then she's like, well, tell everyone what they had downstairs.
So, okay, we'll go from they had a rooftop bar. They had a ground floor bar. They had a basement bar. They had a cafe restaurant. And then below the hotel, like beneath the basement bar. So it's like the basement of the basement.
And it's like on a hill, so you can like go around the back to get all the way down there.
They have the Claremont Lounge, Atlanta's oldest strip club.
Women owned.
And they don't care about your body type, your
age,
your ethnicity. They don't care at all. Mm-hmm. All are welcome.
And all were there.
To pat the poom poom.
So this, I have never been, I mean, okay, first of all, I'm not a club goer. Hardly, I mean, I've never even been to like the poorhouse. Okay. Like if I'm at a bar.
I used to love the poorhouse in college.
If I'm at a bar, it's a bar and grill. Like, you know, I don't like it to be loud. I'm just there to like have my fun little drink and have some food and go home safely. You know, I don't like belligerentness.
Yeah.
So I've also never been to a strip club, and this is obviously a fun little lounge. I don't know what I'm expecting. I'm expecting to see titties.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness.
So we first went to the gay bar across the street.
That was weird.
Just to like drink some drinks and like, you know, I'm like, since you've never been to a strip club, let's like go have a drink first to like, you know, lighten the mood, and then we'll go to the strip club. So we went to this gay bar. It was like the atmosphere was kind of odd. It was like a little bit of Applebee's, a little bit of, I don't even know.
It was also very masculine.
Yeah. There was a lot of
so many guys.
Lots of masculine energy. Actually, I've never been to a gay bar with that many men.
That just were giving hetero.
It was weird.
I mean, like I saw some like was feeling some queer vibes, but not a whole lot. I don't know. But yeah, then we like meandered over, and Brandon's like, "Here we go," and I was like, "Okay, I guess we're doing this."
The way to get in was kind of scary. There's just like a fold-out table in a back alley with like this kind of gruff-looking guy. There's like handwritten signs.
Yeah, it was like, it looks like a pop-up bar. I was like, "This is permanent."
Literally,
like a little, collecting your cover charge, checking ID, whatever, and they let you in. It was very dark in there. They also only had one little area open. Like I feel like there was.
It looked like there were like
tables.
3 total areas.
Yeah.
Also, this was a Wednesday night, right?
It was. Yeah. Wait, it could have been Thursday. No, it was Wednesday night at a strip club. Yep. And it was. I mean, it was not. I mean, they only had that one little area open, but it was surprisingly busy.
It was like that area was packed. We are lucky we ever found a seat.
Yeah, we were able to actually sit down, which I didn't think we were even going to be allowed to do because Brandon almost got us kicked out. Here I am. I just want to like not make a fuss, and I almost get dragged out by my ankles. Like, oh my God. I'm glad we didn't though, because it ended up being a very positive experience. Yeah. But this guy came over because you know what Brandon's dumbass did? Obviously they don't allow any pictures of any kind. But we're over in the corner, and I don't know how.
Well, they should have an asterisk. We take things literally. Yeah. I think a picture is your back camera.
No pictures or selfies. So we're literally in the corner, and Brandon just wants
There's
to document.
nothing in the background.
Yeah,
wall.
It is literally black wall. There's not even a picture. There is just black wall. And we're in the corner, and Brandon's like just trying to like snap a little Snapchat or something. Yeah. Just to remember it by, to be like, hey, we're here. And this guy runs over to us.
It was honestly assaulting. I didn't even get to and then we saw where he stands. It was not close.
I don't know how he got
the amount of people he must have shoved out of the way. I hadn't even finished typing out the caption yet.
He was like, pull out your phone. Pull out your phone. Let me see he's like, let me see your photo album. Let me see your photos. And I was like, oh my God, what if Brandon has nudes on there too?
I probably did.
But I think he saw the picture and what it was, and he's like, oh, you're just stupid. Yeah. And was like, don't do it again. And he said, like, do it again and you're leaving. Yeah. You're done. So we're like, okay. And then Brandon, I don't think you took out your phone one more time.
My phone no longer existed.
Yeah. He was texting on his Apple Watch the whole time. Was just texting on his Apple Watch because he's like, I'm not even going to try to touch my phone. Oh my gosh. But there was like an interesting vibe of people there. We haven't even gotten to like what we were seeing. But like the crowd was kind of mixed. Kind of a lot of like older guys, but there were some ladies there, and I don't know, like the lady girl who was in front of us, and like her man companion. She seemed not into it.
No,
I think what it seemed. I think we were conspiracizing that maybe like a lot of these ladies are there to like see the ladies, and like their boyfriend, whatever the husband, and she's like, oh yeah, let's go, and they're just like, don't touch me, I'm here to see the ladies. Yeah. Like whatever. I don't know. It was funny. But then eventually they left, and then we got to sit in their little spots. And the way this was set up, it's not like you can't touch the women.
It was not like a normal strip club, which is like a stage, and then you sit around the stage, and then there's poles on the stage.
You're sitting around the bar. Yeah. It's like, imagine like the Applebee's loop.
Yeah.
Circle, and there's a stage in the middle.
Instead of where all the bottles sit.
Yeah,
there's
instead
just
of where the bottles.
Open stage.
Which there were still bottles behind, and I was like, I can't. Like these girls were like spread out like legs, and I'm like, how are they not hitting the bottles over there? And one girl, so tall, she was hitting the ceiling. She had to go like barefoot.
She was in flats. No, she was barefoot. She was
barefoot because she quite literally like her head was on the ceiling, and she was like having to like turn her head, crank her neck. But I was shocked to see that they got fully naked. I think every single one of them. Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brandon was like, yeah, they're not normally like this.
Well, a lot of them are. It just depends. So, like, if a lot of them allow 18-year-olds, and if they allow 18-year-olds, then they don't.
So it's just boobies.
Yeah, but if it's only 21 plus, then they'll do it all. And most of the ones in the Midwest are 18 plus.
And these girls were running around asking, like, I think right away, Blondie asked me if I wanted to go to the back room for a dance.
Uh-huh.
No, thank you, darling. But it got fun though, because I mean, obviously you can't. Okay, so you don't like touch them
Because normally you can like hold out a dollar bill like at a drag show and be like here, and they'll like caress their boob on your face, But no, that was not happening.
But it kind of turned into a fun little game, because now you got to crinkle up your little dollar bill and throw it, and like a lot of them are like making little baskets for you to throw them into, But it was very fun. Yeah. They were playing some good songs too.
Yeah, which was another thing that's way better than Midwest strip clubs, because it's like up here it's like Nickelback, Three Doors Down, like songs meant for the crusty men, middle-aged men who are coming there to just sit there after their work and not go home to their wife and kids. Where this was like a party.
Yeah, but then they had a couple of those in there.
There were a few.
Which I feel like I appreciated, because I'm like, oh, I'm getting the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
you have to stay true to your roots.
I got the experience. Like, I don't think that could have gone any better. I feel like us almost getting kicked out was like cherry on top, right?
This is going to be like the Minneapolis plant clubs of the strip club world. Like, we've now experienced like the best. Very inclusive, no weird energy.
I feel like, I feel like this is a good first place for me. It was kind of perfect. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And Brandon just kept getting us drinks after drinks. And then I was like, every time I'm like, oh, I don't need another. And Brandon's like, oh, I'll just get you a half shot. No, because you know what he did? He got himself 2 shots and got me a 1. It does not equal a half. In his brain it does. But that's not half. That's 1 whole. And I feel like, was that the night we were supposed to order food and then just passed out?
Yes, and the Uber Eats was like on my phone when I woke up in the morning, which I was like, thank God I didn't get farther than putting a few things in the cart.
What were you ordering?
I don't remember. Because I remember being very confused, because it was all things I'd never seen before, and when I don't know what anything is, I get very overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, this could be anything. Because some places, they got some good pictures and they make it look really good, even though it's just some random like hole in the wall.
Even though it's like the Applebee's ghost kitchen. Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God. But next day in Atlanta, it was pretty fun. Very confusing though, because we went into that weird parking garage.
Oh yeah. So we wake up in Atlanta. It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning.
It was a good day.
And so there was this plant shop we wanted to go to called the Victorian, right? Yeah. And it was, I looked it up on the map and I was like a little confused, because it was like in this area where there were streets, but it looked like buildings. I was like, I don't really know. So I'm like driving there, and actually where we turned in was not where I was originally going to turn. I just accidentally turned there, and it happened to be where we needed to be. But it was the Ponce Market, which if you're from Atlanta, apparently this is a big thing. There was like an SNL sketch about like how confusing it is, like, or like an episode of some show. I don't know. But we were like, we could not find our way. We went into the parking garage. We go into the elevator.
Yeah, it is dead. Like no cars. And I'm like, why is there nobody around? And then all of a sudden we're in some apartment complex thing.
Like, okay.
This is like resident parking.
Literally.
Like, what?
And so we pull in and we get into the elevator. And so I'm like, okay, go down to the first floor. The door opens, and I'm like one of those people who, like, if you're trying to get in an elevator when I'm trying to get out, I will push you out of the way because I'm coming out of that elevator so fast.
It's like me getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
And so I am about to charge out this elevator door, and there's just a pit, like a construction pit. Like literally, like the elevator door opens and we're in the pits of hell.
And thank God they put up that little board.
Or else I would have been in the pit.
There's a little like wooden plank just hammered in to prevent people from walking out. And I have a little video of Brandon just like
it was like right as I like stopped as I was running, and I like reacted. I was like
oh, even then, like we get up to like the floor we're supposed to be at, and we're still like, okay, are we
and then
at
they're
this
like,
place
Then
yet?
they're like, nope, you're just in another completely different parking garage.
And they know that it's confusing because there was like, they had like funny like art here and there, and there was a little arrow, and you know what it pointed to? It said somewhere. It quite literally just said somewhere. That's really specific. Thank you. That was the directions. But it was real like, it was like, think mall, but like a lot more modern. I feel like it wasn't like this old like Ward something.
Yeah, it must have been some like big old factory that they like completely redid. It was really cool. They had really cool stores. Like I was tempted everywhere we went. I was like, this is not good. This is not your average mall. Like I work in the Mall of America. this is 10 times better and 10 times smaller, but also 10 times bigger, just confusing wise.
Like no chains, right? I mean, there were some, but
they were like
nice
high-end
ones.
chains.
Yeah,
There
nice
was like
ones.
Madewell. We went to the Glossier store, which was...
Yeah, but even like the ones on the inside were like a little more small businessy vibes, you know?
And they were like brands that are big online but don't typically have stores.
Yeah, it was really interesting. The Glossier store was really fun.
I was just suckered.
Yeah.
That's when the credit card started swiping.
Yeah, he just got like, he was doing pretty well, and then all of a sudden it was just money.
Like, I'm either spending so much money I'm going to have to file for bankruptcy, or I don't spend money at all. There's no in between.
Mm-hmm. All or nothing, baby. Had some good chicken. Scary lady worked there. Victorian. It was pretty okay. So the Victorian, apparently they have 2 locations. We went to one of them. I think probably
we went to the second location, not the main one. Because the main one's a coffee shop.
Yeah, they were in this like shared area though with this person who was just like sewing stuff.
Yeah, like custom.
They had really cute like racks of stuff that they had made.
Custom denim jackets.
They were just like there, like the
grabbing the
pop-up
fabric
is just like in the area where they're sewing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is all handmade. Very cool stuff.
Got suckered into a shirt there.
Yeah, Brandon got a shirt. And we went to the plant shop. We weren't super wowed by Victorian. I feel like that one was one that was really hyped up.
The vibes were immaculate.
Very similar to Mother. Like if you're local, think Mother Co. But with more house plants. Mm-hmm. Exactly that. So it was cool. I wanted to buy a sticker though, and it was hard, and I gave up.
Again, there were like 10 employees, and they were like just doing stuff.
Yeah, there's at least 2 or 3 employees in that little space, and weren't really. Yeah, they were busy. I think they just got in a shipment though, because there was like plants in our way.
I think there were parts of it that we couldn't even really access because there were just so many plants blocking the path.
Because there was plants like in this area where normally you'd be like shopping for soil, but there was like plants in front of it. So I think they were in the middle of a shipment, but there were like cool plants there. I did see some like cool stuff. They had that little greenhouse
tent was
thing.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Although the plants in there, I will say, they needed some help. Whoever works in that store must have ADHD too, and they keep that tent closed because they were out of sight, out of mind.
I feel that. I sometimes forget about the ones that are in the cabinet at PQ. I'm just running around. I'm like, oh yeah, there's plants in here. I got to water.
Those ones downstairs are lucky to be alive. Let me tell you.
It was still a cute shop though. Fun branding. A lot of cool cacti.
Yeah. And they had a lot of like fun plant related stuff that I haven't really seen other places, although incredibly expensive.
It was expensive.
And also, I ordered some of those pots that they had there for Monstera last night. Those prices that they were selling those for $95. You know what the MSRP on those are? $40.
Oh my gosh. So after that though, we were wowed when we went to the Atlanta Botanical Gardens.
Well, so we get there and
we didn't know what to expect. I didn't look up this place. I did not look up a damn thing.
Like, I've heard good things about it, but like I didn't know what I was expecting. And we walk in and we had to pay to park, and then we get to the front gate and it's like $26 a person. And I was like, $26 a person? What the they're robbing us blind. Well, there was a good reason for robbing us blind.
It was insane.
Jaw-dropping.
Yeah. I mean, very well thought out. I still really want to know what that smell was. Do you remember when we were walking and I was like, what does that smell?
The very mildewy hallway.
No, not the mildewy hallway.
When we first got there, it just smelled delightful.
It smelled like really nostalgic too. I was like, I've smelled this before, whatever this flower is, whatever
something
this plant
from our
is.
childhood.
I couldn't, it was on the tip of my nose, my tongue, whatever. I wish I could have figured it out. But it was just in that one corner. Like we just
when you walk in, like in that main
path.
fork in the road.
I will say though, like every single gift shop we went to, like attached to these botanical gardens, so wimpy. No, Missouri one
was
amazing.
Really good.
But the Atlanta Botanical Garden one was weird.
It was like you were at like an up north grandma tourist shop.
And the Fairchild one, which we'll talk about Fairchild in the next episode, but even the Fairchild one was like the worst.
That wasn't even a gift shop, but we'll get there.
But yeah, so I'm not a big orchid person, but the Atlanta Botanical Garden has this orchid like display room.
It's so fucking cool.
Oh my God. Just like the way these things are on display. I mean, you know how like in a lot of like botanical garden areas or like conservatories, you kind of have to go look for things. I did not.
No.
There was so much to see just right in front of your face.
Yeah. Like, here it is. Enjoy.
Yeah, they're like, you don't have to go look for it at all. But in these, and they had multiple domes. It wasn't like when we went to Missouri Botanical Garden, the Climatron was like one thing. But I forget what they call it. I don't know. It was tropical something because there's a whole name for those domes that we went to.
Yeah.
But anywho, the first one we went to, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the main big.
It was so quiet.
It was like uncomfortably quiet.
Yeah, I was like, we have to whisper.
Like we're in an actual rainforest.
Yeah, so damn quiet. But then all of a sudden, the misters turn on when we're in there. And oh my gosh, how magical.
It was Gorgina.
So delightful. And I feel like there was a lot of people there, like, I don't know what people were doing. They're setting up for a wedding outside of it, first of all, which can you imagine how expensive or how immaculate having something there would be?
It would be beautiful. Oh my God. It wasn't even like, it was barely set up at all and it looked gorgeous.
But like lots of like couples there that like some people look like they're just like on a break from class or something, or like, I don't know. I just feel like everyone there had a different story and I wanted to like stop and talk to all these people that were there.
Because that one was like kind of right downtown. So I think it attracts like a wide range of people. Like there were a lot of people who I was listening as we were walking in and they're like members and they literally just go there on their lunch break to just chill.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Well, and they have this big display whatever thing of that, like the lady, and we didn't get to go see that.
Oh yeah.
But like that was on all their merch in their gift shop.
It was incredibly hot and it was on the complete opposite side. Like we would have had to go to the front entrance and then go another whole way there.
We were in a hurry. We still had to go
and
do one more thing.
And we still had like a
9-hour
drive after.
Yeah. So I still can't stop thinking about like the orchid room. I mean, the giant workwian that we saw, so many cool anthuriums. But that is the place we went to where they're like, oh yeah, we have like poisonous frogs and like this and this and that.
Yeah, they were so like they have like the poisonous
turtle,
the poisonous frog display as you walk in there, and like little like at a zoo. But then you walk in, there's a sign that says, "Do you hear us? We're the Koki Woki frogs or whatever they're called. Watch out because we don't have poisonous bugs to eat. We're not poisonous." And I'm like, that's a damn lie. There is no way that these frogs' entomology just completely changes because you feed them earthworms. Like, no.
Oh my gosh. But wasn't there like a little like water like bridge that we went
and then
over
there was like a little bridge and it said, "Hello, I'm an alligator snapping turtle. Don't put your fingers in the water."
And I was okay, and this also, because you know how usually when you go through some of these, like they have like pretty defined paths. Not this one.
No.
It feels like I'm in the rainforest.
Literally were in the rainforest.
In their habitat. Like I was getting the heebie-jeebies. I'm like, if Brandon like goes up behind me and like tries to scare me, I will scream in this room.
Because it's eerily creepy.
Yeah.
All you hear are the frogs and the misters.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's like birds in there too or something. I'm like, there's probably snakes. There's no way there's not snakes. I'm like,
literally.
There's like a big fucking like anaconda.
Just like crosses the path.
I was prepared for something. I was like, I was like, there's no way we're not gonna run into something scary. But we were fine.
I really did think something was going to happen. It was like a leopard was just going to pounce out from the trees and like take me down and watch it eat me. Like
it was immersive
because the plants like grew up the dome. You can tell they've been there for forever because they were literally on all of the valances are those called? I don't know. They were all like up there like.
Well, and this thing too, like we were on this like path, but then all of a sudden we were underneath where we were. I was like, how did that happen?
Literally.
I don't know. Very nuts, very cute. I would love to go back there though and see the rest of it. 10 out of 10.
Would recommend.
But then Tyler of Russo Plant Care hit us up and was like, hey, let me know if you want to stop by. I'm like just south of Atlanta.
And it was like, 2 minutes off the highway.
We were like, okay. And he literally said to me, said like to our podcast messages, like, so when you pull up, it like doesn't look like a norm, like where you wouldn't expect me to be.
He's like, you wouldn't think I was here.
Yeah, and he didn't say what it was. He was just like, you just wouldn't think I was here. It's some like textile recycling manufacturer building thing. Huge warehouse. Like think like The Office, where you like go like in the show The Office, where he's going to the warehouse and he's like in this, he opens the door and then there's the warehouse. That's exactly what it was.
It really was.
Because then he's like, yeah, my shipping container's out back. And I was like, your what? And he's like, my shipping container. And takes us through people. There's literally
we're like
cranes.
dodging
we're dodging
forklifts. Like.
And I feel like we're in trouble, but they're just like
whatever.
Yeah, they just like see people all the time, just walk by, and we're like, okay. And I'm like, I don't want to take pictures, but these people are like at work. I was like, I don't want to be stupid. He quite literally has a shipping container greenhouse.
It was so cool.
And now we're convinced we need a shipping container.
Literally.
It fits so many plants, and the size of these plants.
Incredible. Did you see the wangle dangle he posted today? Well, I mean, we got to see it in real life, but like when all those plants are smushed together, like you don't get the scale as much.
Yeah, and the big patriciae that he posted a video of too, and we were like, we saw that. Oh my God. Nuts. Beautiful crosses, insane hybrids that Brandon's like, okay, I have this on my list. I'm going to cross this one and this. He's like taking notes. He's like,
I'm like, which one did you put with which? What one was the pollen? What one was the juices?
He gave us a couple little anthurium babies, and I actually already used the plant food that he gave us on one of my, what? Where did you put that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that bottle.
I know I have it somewhere. Shit.
Yeah, I used it on my jerry horn because it's in moss, and I was like, oh shit, this thing's dry. And I was like, oh yeah, it's also in sphagnum moss. It probably needs some actual nutrients. So.
Oh my God, I'm so mad. If I lost it, I mean, I couldn't have lost it.
No, you didn't lose it.
It's here somewhere. I just have no idea where.
You'll find it. But just an absolute treat. He's also very smart.
Incredibly smart, incredibly
so casual
nice.
About it.
Like, again, I was like, all of these people, like, I'm awkward. I don't do well meeting new people. Very few people I vibe with. And I vibed with him so well. It was great. It was a treat.
Oh, yeah. And they're doing a lot of, like, they don't just, like, breed plants there. They're, like, building stuff. I mean, he's got the plant food and the, like, moss pole things. He's always doing projects.
Yeah. He's like an engineer, basically.
Yeah, plant engineer.
Plant engineer.
Absolute treat. Like, he was like, oh, like, stop by if you want. And I was like, okay. And, like, just something I kept in the back of my mind. And I was like, I think we should go.
Yeah.
I think we should go. And I'm glad we did. So thank you, Tyler, for having us. That was awesome.
What a blessing.
What a blessing. But then after that, we had to drive to Orlando. And oh my gosh, finally the cats show themselves.
Hi, Cece. Hi, Cliff.
I've been here for hours and I haven't seen the cats.
I think Cece's been causing a food war. And like yesterday, I'm pretty sure she ate all the food before Cliff even woke up.
Mm.
And then I think today Cliff must have ate the food, and that's why Cece started vomiting everywhere.
And now she's like, hey, if you're coming up, I'm coming up too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like trying to eat before the other one.
They're just ridiculous.
So down to Orlando. We didn't spend any time there. We stayed in a Popka, though, technically.
Yeah.
Good old Popka.
Which, as we found out, there's a lot of things there that we want to check out next time.
Oh, yeah. So we're excited. So I think for our next trip, we'll probably fly down and drive back.
Yeah.
So we still want to see cool stuff down there and like take a bunch of plants home, but we don't want to drive all the way down.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But we kind of ripped the Band-Aid and drove all the way home on the way back. We weren't planning on it.
Maybe by next year we'll be so popular that we'll have a private jet company fly us down and we can stop wherever we want.
Absolutely.
We're manifesting.
Oh my God, Cece, your mascara's running like crazy. Look at her.
Come here.
Those crusties in those eyes.
Fine, you don't.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, you think we should wrap it up and do part 2 now?
I think we ended there.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 13.
Yeah, and I have to pee.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Come back for part 2 where we talk about the International Aroid Show and all the fun things we did before and after.
Which I think will be not next week, but the week after. I think next week we'll put the Savannah's episode, the interview with her. Then we'll do part 2. Then we'll do the interview with David.
And then we've got our Halloween episode.
Halloweener.
Which may come after Halloween or the week.
Well, we might mix up the order to fit in the Halloween episode.
Yeah, we'll see. And I was like, we might have to do 2 in 1 week. We'll see. We go back to our roots. Brandon's like, no. Brandon's like, no, we need more episodes.
We're trying to build a back catalog.
Anyways, if you're hearing this though right now, Brandon has some stuff on the website. Y'all
We
should
got
go check out.
Brand new merch. Go to monsteraplant.co. Go to shop and then apparel and accessories. We have such cool merch. I love it all. We ordered some and I'm so excited for it to come. Oh my God.
Yay. So you're going to have like some in stock or like just some for y'all?
Well, I mean, it's always in stock on the website.
Or some like in person.
Yeah, we just did like the sample order, you know.
Nice.
So I'm excited. But we will have, when does this episode air? This episode will air in 2 days. So if you are local to Minneapolis, go to Tonkadale. They have a plant swap on the 22nd. The plant swap might be sold out when this airs, but you can still come to the market that we're hosting there. There will be us and a few other vendors, and we'll have a lot of our new merch there as well. So it'll be tons of fun.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, other than that, you can find monsteraplant.co as the website and the Instagram handle. You can follow me at Brandon Botanical on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And yeah, Nicole, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Nicole Larson Grows. That's it, friends. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a good week.
Yeah. So we'll see you in part 2 in our fun little interviews.
Bye.
Bye.